Whether it is the middle of summer and you're making egg salad and potato salad, or it is like it is now getting close to the holiday season around Thanksgiving and Christmas, where you're making deviled eggs and things like that, being able to easily peel hard-boiled eggs is just worth its weight in gold. Today I'm going to show you the best, simplest method to have easy peel hard-boiled eggs that turn out perfect every single time, and they even work with farm fresh eggs. It's a miracle. I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, where every single week I share stories about farming, family food, and fortitude here in our 5-acre homestead in northern Minnesota. So to start, you really don't need any fancy equipment, just this little colander type thing you can get, or a little steamer. I got this for $1 at a thrift store, and I like to use a nice wide pot so that way you can fit more liquid in there, because you want to have enough steam so that your pot isn't going to kind of run dry over the course of the steaming process. So nice wide pot, fill the water as much as you can so that it's not touching the bottom, and you want a little bit of a gap there because you really don't want the boiling water kind of getting up on your eggs. And then go ahead and fill your little colander. If you're doing something like I am on this one, start in the middle. If you start on the edge, it'll get tippy. Start in the middle and work your way out. You can also just those kind of like spaghetti strainer pots as well to do this. Here I'm doing, I think it's 17 eggs, and I could almost totally fit 2 dozen on there. Crank it all the way up to high heat and get it at a nice rolling boil. And once it starts boiling, you want to cover your pot with a lid and turn that heat down to about a medium, because you want it to be boiling, but you don't want to pump all that steam out of there so it escapes. Set a timer for 20 minutes and then check on your eggs. They really don't look any different, but magic has happened in there, I promise. You want to use either tongs or some sort of oven mitt to take them out. Eventually, once you get enough out on these little colanders, you can pick it up by that middle thing, or these little steamers, you can pick it up by that middle thing and dump them into a bowl, which we are then going to immediately put under cold water. Now this is a key step in making sure you don't end up with green yolks, is chilling them very quickly. So put them in the cold water, and then you can also start to peel them. So these eggs were fresh yesterday, and normally peeling fresh farm eggs, as you may be aware, is an absolute nightmare and impossible. But here, as you can see, because of steaming them, for whatever reason, they are the easiest thing to peel, even when they're completely fresh. So you're going to end up with some really beautiful eggs. And I like to let the water kind of run a little bit. Just a little stream really helps it to peel more cleanly. I mean, look at that. It's like alabaster, smooth and beautiful. Now, I don't like to waste a lot of water, so I then will just toss some ice in there to help it continue to chill. And here's how those eggs looked after peeling. So there's a couple with little dimples in there, but for the most part, I mean, they're like smooth and beautiful as a baby's bottom. These things are awesome. So just for fun, as a little bonus, here is also my family's recipe for deviled eggs, because 'tis the season around here anyway. So slice your eggs in half, and for whatever reason as well, I don't know if it's a steaming process, the yolks ended up all right in the middle. Normally to get that, you have to set the eggs on their side the day before to have yolks right in the center. So otherwise, if the egg is on end, the yolks settle on the bottom or the top. You don't really have a good even spot for your eggs, but steaming somehow made that happen. So then after you get all your yolks in a bowl, just use a fork to bust them up into as small and fine pieces as possible. You really want them to be really fine, because that's going to give you a smoother consistency for the filling on your deviled eggs. My dad taught me how to make them, and he taught me using a fork. So you can use a whisk or something if you want. Now here's where it's going to get a little bit a little bit sketchy perhaps, is using a Miracle Whip. Maybe you want to use mayo. I don't really use Miracle Whip except for a sandwich or two a year and for deviled eggs. I love the taste of Miracle Whip in my deviled eggs. So I don't have a way for measuring, just do this with your heart. Shoot some in there and just kind of stir it up. I think it added a little bit more, but you're aiming for that smooth consistency, but hold back a little. Don't have it as completely moist as you want to, because we're going to be adding one more ingredient here that really helps make the flavor, and that is to add in some pickle juice. Now, I only had sweet pickles up here, and you certainly could use juice from sweet pickles, but I wanted kind of a dill flavor, so I used some juice from my dilly beans, which works just as well. If you have something with like a jalapeno pickle-y flavor, you can make a spicy one, should be really good. So just stir that in and taste it, add some salt and pepper, a little dash of paprika, and just taste as you go and kind of add as you need to. And then when you're ready, you're just gonna scoop it out and dollop it into the shells. If you wanna get fancy, you can use a piping bag instead of using your finger, but there's a really cool Julia Child quote where she says, anytime you see a beautiful plate of something, you know someone's hands have been just like all over it. And she ate some of the best food anywhere. Anyway, after you fill the eggs, take another little bit of paprika and sprinkle that over the top just for a little bit. I don't know that you can taste it that much, but you can certainly see it, and it makes the eggs look really pretty. And add a little bit of cracked pepper on top, and you have some beautiful deviled eggs. It's a super simple trick. It works awesome every single time, and now you're going to have perfectly beautiful, easily peelable, hard-boiled eggs. Thanks so much for watching. We always appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week for another video about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble farmhouse.